I'm here with Kevin Coyle, guitar expert. Kevin.
Hey, Bob.
Nice to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
Now, tell me, if I want to buy a guitar, what do I look for in these?
Well, one of the first things that people look for in terms of price range and tone woods. Starting in the entry-level side of the market, you've got things like this that are laminated. Now, laminates basically like a plywood, but you don't want to call it plywood because it doesn't sound very nice and musical. Okay. But it's essentially thin plies of wood with glue keeping them in between. It's very cost effective. It makes for a good sounding guitar, but since the glues in between the plies don't have any resonant qualities, it's not the most musical sounding. Okay. So oftentimes they're very mid-rangey, not a lot of low end, not a lot of high end. Great for a beginner because it's cost effective. Sure. And you get a decent sounding instrument that's going to hold up for a number of years.
Okay, laminated doesn't apply to the cover of the wood. It's the wood itself.
Correct, correct. It's the wood, and then they'll have polyurethane or acrylic finishes on top. Okay. The next step that's going to give you a better sounding guitar is something that's going to have solid plies. Mm-hmm. Now, solid doesn't necessarily mean side to side. It's still the thickness. Mm-hmm. All of the guitars, whether they're laminated or solid, are going to be book matched, meaning it's a piece of wood about the size of a butcher block. They split down the center and join them in the center. And so there's structural integrity, and you're also using, a smaller piece of wood. Okay. Now, you'll have a guitar like this, and price ranges from in the high $2s into the $500 range. Okay. You'll have a solid soundboard, which is another name for the top. The back and sides are still laminated for cost effectiveness, but you get a guitar with, a deeper, richer tone and a little bit more projection. Right. And in some cases, it's just marketing where they'll say, all solid wood soundboard, but it's not the highest grade of wood, so it's solid just for the sake of being solid. And not laminated. Correct, correct. Okay. The next step is going to be something a little higher end where the top, back, and sides are all solid woods. Okay. So in a case like this, you have a guitar where it's all solid Indian rosewood, Indian rosewood back and sides, and a solid top. And that's going to give you structurally a more sound instrument because the solid woods have less chance of swelling and bowing and things like that. Okay. And also, the more you play an all solid wood guitar, the more it resonates, the better it's going to sound. Okay. So 10 years from now, this is going to sound even better than the day you bought it. So with age. Exactly. These guys, it's like wine. Exactly. Okay. These guys right out of the box, that's how they're going to sound. And they'll always be like that. Well, yeah, which is not always a bad thing. No, it's consistency. And, and again, these are all things in theory. And what's the price range on something like this? All solid wood guitars these days with what's coming in out of China, you can get some really affordable all solid wood guitars in the $400 range. Most of the American products that are going to be all solid wood, anywhere between $600 on the low side. Mostly you're going to be in the $1,000 range, okay. And above. You can spend as much as you could possibly imagine on a nice solid wood acoustic. Okay. And what about the necks? Does that affect the sound? Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, that's also going to be one of those feel things that people can't quite put their finger on a feature, but you pick up a real nice guitar and it has that inherent feel of quality. The older trees are going to have a tighter grain, and it's something that you're not always going to see on the price tag as a big feature, but the quarter sawn mahoganies and maples, things are going to be denser, better sustained, better feel. Is that a harder feel as well, mahogany? Exactly. Well, yeah, mahogany is usually the choice of woods for a guitar neck for an acoustic guitar. Okay, now that's the back of the neck, right? Correct. The back, and not the fingerboard itself. The fingerboard itself is usually rosewood. Your higher end guitars are going to be ebony. Ebony's a really dense, sometimes brittle wood, but it adds a lot of strength and rigidity to the neck itself. And it's a soft wood, correct? Is it? Or ebony's very hard. Oh, it is. Mahogany's a little softer. Okay. So it's a nice combination. Okay. Some manufacturers, all their high-end stuff is ebony, and then there's some guys that just feel that the softer rosewood fingerboards are better. Okay. What about rosewood and the softness to that? Rosewood is usually the wood of choice. Okay. It's a bit more expensive for the body. For the fingerboards, again, most of your higher-end stuff is going to be ebony just because that's the way the high-end makers have been doing it for years. Okay. Kevin, I learned a lot. Thanks, you so much. Thank you.